Good morning. Good morning. It's Morning Devos with Pastor Jenn. And this morning, we have a special guest with us. This is Steve Jones from Life 100.3. And this month, in the month of March, we are focusing in on Life 100.3 and their impact in our community and beyond and how we can support them. And so, Steve, how long have you worked here at Life 100.3?
Wow, I have been at Life since 2003. I started August of 2003, so it's just over 18 years, I guess 18 and a half years.
Wow. Now, what drew you to Christian radio?
I strangely enough, I got my first clock radio when I was in university, and I was working at A&W. This is the craziest story. And they had this contest, and they said, okay, so we're going to see which restaurant in the country can sell the most teen burger combos, okay? And so our restaurant, for some reason, said, hey, let's see how many we can do. We're just going to, like, if somebody came in and asked for a coffee, we'd say, hey, do you want a teen burger combo with that? We were just going crazy. And they came back after the month, and they said, your restaurant won. So 51st Street A&W in Saskatoon won, and the prize was a clock radio. And before that, I had never really listened to the radio. My parents had listened to country radio. We were in Saskatchewan at the time, so I wasn't a real big fan. Sorry, country music fans. But I was listening to this news station called C95, and I thought, man, these guys, they give the weather, they have fun. I wouldn't mind doing something like that, but I'd like to do it in Christian radio. And that's where the thought began. Really? Just in that moment, yeah.
And so how does someone get into radio? Or Christian radio?
Well, in radio, I felt exactly like you just asked. I had no idea, and I looked in the yellow pages. Remember those? The yellow pages? And there was this school in Saskatoon called WABC. And there was also a school that was put up by YWAM in Hawaii. That would have been my first choice, but then I found out it was very expensive. So I said, okay, maybe I'll just stick closer to home. So the school is called WABC in Saskatoon, and I went to just visit it, and I met the instructor, who I later learned went to my church.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I said, hey, listen, I'm in university right now, and I want to do radio, but tell me right now, do I have a chance? If you don't think I can make it, if you don't think I sound like I can be in radio, would you just let me know? And he said, no, I think you could do this. So there we go. That was my broadcasting school, just looking through the yellow pages to find a school.
God moves in mysterious ways, right? This is so cool. So, okay, I love Saskatoon. I've been a lot of places all across Canada, love Saskatoon, but I also realize it's a 4-day drive from here.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I'm like, how did you move from Saskatoon to Barrie, Ontario?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a story because I graduated from broadcasting school, and we used to send a tape. You would record your show on a cassette tape, and then you'd put it in an envelope and you would send it out. And it was crazy expensive because it cost like $10 to send it to all these different radio stations. But one of them I sent to a radio station called AM 930 The Light in Edmonton, which was an AM Christian radio station. I didn't even know the Christian radio existed. And so I sent it to that program director, and he got back to me, which was really nice. And he basically said, you're kind of inexperienced and you sound really young. So, keep working at it. And then come back later. So needless to say, I was crushed, but I thought, you know what? I'll just keep going. I'll get as much experience as I can, and maybe someday I'll be able to get back there. Meanwhile, I was doing a morning show in Rosetown, Saskatchewan, and I was reading this broadcasting magazine, and in there was a story from this guy named Scott Jackson, who had started this new radio station in Barrie, Ontario. And he was saying all the things that excited me. He said, we're a Christian radio station, but we want to sound as good as or better than mainstream stations because, Christians are no different than anybody else, right? They want to listen to great radio. They don't just want to say, well, I guess I should listen. So I was really attracted to that. And so I sent him a quick email and said, hey, congratulations. And that was our first meeting. And we kind of connected for a couple of years until finally there was a moment when I was working in Regina. So the crazy thing with radio is you move around a lot. In order to move up, you need to move away somewhere else, typically. And so I was working at a radio station in Regina, and they called me downstairs just before my shift was going to begin, and they said, we're going to change the format. So we were playing top 40 music, and they said, we're going to change to light AC, light adult contemporary, and we don't think you'll fit, so we don't have a job for you. Yeah, just like that. So I found out in 20 minutes that I lost my job. And so I sent a quick email to Scott, and because we had been staying in contact, and I said, hey, I'm out of work. Now's the time. You can hire me. And he goes, man, I'm sorry. We don't have anything for you.
Oh.
So I was crushed. I'm like, here's my big chance, and there's nothing available. But Scott forwarded my name to the general manager in Ottawa of a Christian radio station.
Yes.
And so this was a big moment for me because my family is, for the most part, still out west.
Right.
And this is when I decided that, okay, am I going to do this Christian radio thing? Is this, like, I felt God's call on my life, but do I really want to do this? And I said, well, here goes. And that was over 20 years ago. So first a couple of years in Ottawa, and then I came to Life a couple of years after that, and here we are.
And here we are. And so through 18 years, about, highlight. When you think of like the highlights of the last 18 years, the things that have really stood out to you, what has?
I really enjoy, I mean, you have the big events, right? I mean, we had a couple of anniversary parties. I think of Mark Schultz. He's not a guy that you hear from as much anymore, but he came and did an anniversary party at Highway Church in Barrie, and he wrote these like really serious songs, but they tell a story. But he was like a stand-up comedian. Like, he was cracking jokes. Like, he would sing this powerful song that had everybody in tears, and he would just crack a joke and have everybody like double over in laughter, crying for a different reason. And it was such a good night. Our 20th anniversary party, which is, I mean, like 20 years of Christian radio, is amazing. But the biggest thing I've noticed since I've been able to work in mainstream radio and also Christian radio, nobody ever called us in mainstream radio to say that their lives have been changed because of what's happening. And so that's really humbling. And I tell the staff this all the time. I'm like, this is more than a song. This is more than even somebody who's answering the phone, or somebody who is, looking for a prize, or our advertising team is looking to find advertisers. Like, this is bigger. Yeah. God is using this to really make an impact. And so when you hear stories of how somebody was driving down the road and they were going to commit suicide, and then the radio station bumps onto Life 100.3, and they stop and say, okay, hold on a second, God has something more for me. Yeah. Just people who are struggling in their health, with their health, and they've been listening in the hospital, and they hear these songs, and God just keeps encouraging them. Yeah. And then just, like, you hear Pastor Jenn say something on a Sunday morning, and then you get back to Monday, and Monday is crazy, and then you hear a song, and it's like, oh my goodness, that's exactly what she was talking about yesterday. So to me, that's what's really special, is it's so much more than just a radio station. It's more than just entertainment. Yes. That's a fun part of it, but it means so much more.
And this is why we support Life 100.3, is because we have the same mission and purpose. We want people to encounter Christ and for their lives to be changed. And so this month is their Share-a-thon. And so what are some ways that we can be supporting Life with Share-a-thon?
There are so many different ways. I mean, the obvious reason is it's a fundraiser. We are a listener-supported radio station, and Life would not be here without the people who have financially supported us through the years. You might be listening and watching, and you've been giving since the beginning, which is unbelievable. How many people have been doing that since 1999? Yeah. Just regularly, out of their bank account every month. And that's a big part of it. But the prayer behind Life, I mean, just what it takes to get the song, whatever the teaching program, to get it from the studio. I mean, it goes across a parking lot, up to the top of a building, from a mini tower to our bigger tower, and then that's broadcast all across central Ontario to the repeater markets, and then rebroadcast from there. Like, the fact that how many things could go wrong with that process, right? So if you could just keep us in prayer. Pray for the health of the DJs. Pray for the health of the staff. Pray for the health of our listeners. Pray that God would use these songs in these teaching programs. Sometimes I just listen and I just love the song, and then I realize, oh, wait a second, God could be using this song right now. So just prayer is such a big part of it. If you hear that we're going to be on location, I mean, we are so excited to be starting up the street team and trying to get out to more and more events in the near future. Come and support us. Come and meet us. When you hear an advertiser on the radio and you're thinking, oh, I didn't even know they were in Barrie. go visit them.
Yes.
I mean, they just want you to come through the door, and then it's their job from there to sell you on the product, right?
Right.
But the bottom line is just to support the advertiser. So you can see there's so many different ways. Share-a-thon, we're listener supported. However, the prayer support and the support of us through our events and through our advertising also, we're hugely thankful for.
We're going to pray. Let's do this. So, Heavenly Father, I am just so encouraged by the impact that Life 100.3 has in our community and beyond for you. And so, Father, I ask that you would continue just to provide opportunities for Life to grow, whether it's a repeater station or with more listeners who hear about the life-changing impact that Life has on their friends and family. And so, Father, I ask in your name that you would bless this ministry, that you would provide for them financially, Lord, that you would raise up people who pray, and Lord God, that the ministry of Life 100.3 would just bless Barrie and beyond. We pray this in your name. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Steve, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And so we encourage you today, if you haven't tuned in to Life 100.3, do it soon. All right. Bye.